Welcome everybody. This is Adrian here, and I wanted to welcome you to another Artist versus Camera episode. This one's gonna be more of a practical one because I wanted to share my screen and get some stuff done with you guys. So if you allow me, we shall now begin because I had an idea about a creature as I was lying in bed. I closed my eyes and I saw this creature. The same thing happened to me like 6 years ago, when I saw a beast type that I later turned into a spirit for HEVENURION, and I wanted to sort of replicate the same thing here. So I don't know yet how I'm gonna do it, but I just fired up Photoshop real quick now. I just need to get my tablet here so that I can start sketching some of those ideas. Okay. There we go. So, switching over to my screen now. Boom. Good. This creature that I'm talking about was more like... Hold on, which pen is this? Good. Perfect. You see, I love this sort of like pencil brush. Feels so nice. So, this creature is like a gorilla kind of thing mixed with, there was like a snapping turtle, like the mouth in the middle. So basically has like the head over here, right? But then the body is like sort of inclined this way. It has like these giant gorilla type of stuff. But what I wanted to emphasize here, because we're seeing this sideways, right? The legs are kind of tiny, just lost in the back. In fact, I think the legs were like bug stuff. It's kind of strange. It's a very abstract creature, and it's very dark. It's dark, it feels like metallic, like what a lot of chitin shells, like as if it was some sort of beetle or something, but mixed with crab and all those spiky things that we see in seashells and that kind of stuff. But this is also like very spiky, and the spikes also come this way from the back. This is gonna be really, really crazy, guys, so buckle up because we're in for a good ride. Lots of them here, lots of them there, and they're all oriented towards the front. They kind of go that way. So if this guy walks, like he runs towards you, he could technically just impale you, with the things on his back. So yeah, also here on the shoulders. Okay, though the arms should not necessarily feel so sturdy over here. Like this is not like this thick, that's not the structure. It's more like Popeye the Sailor Man type of, Popeye the Sailor Man, like those very thick. I don't even know what they have over here. Perhaps I could give him some of those fingers or something, like claws, tiny little claws. But yeah, I'll sort it out. And this part here is very much of a puzzle for me to solve right now. But let's get this done with the head first, because the head, as seen from this side, was sort of like a turtle's mouth in a way, like very vertically open, tiny little eyes. And like I said, it looked like one of those, what's the name? The dinosaur Pokemon turtles. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, I'll sort it out in a minute. And it also had like this shape around it. Probably because it has like this shell on top of it. Yeah, that could work. I don't know. This is something that I should sort out later on, but right now it feels really, really cool as a concept for me right now in my mind. So I need to put it down on paper as soon as possible in order to prevent it from slipping away. So maybe they could glow some light from down there in their throats. This, oops, wrong lasso tool. I think this one should stay a little more like there. Yeah, it's probably a little better. All right. Nah. It's like very centered, like this, the axis of the mouth. And this is where they have all those spikes and all those things coming up. Probably they're not even like shaped this way, the way I'm painting them, because I'm painting them as if they're hollow or something, and they're not. I think they should be more robust, much more sturdy, almost as if resembling some sort of crystal formation or mineral sort of thing, you know? There we go. And then next to it, there would be the shoulders and stuff, which I still have to figure out exactly how they come out of this. Running out of space on paper. Let me make it a little smaller. Good. And this is where those giant arms really show up. They also have like those huge spikes oriented. How was it? I should have probably started with some thumbnails for these guys. But anyway, that's how it is, you know. Then there's like the arms that connected to the rest of the shell and stuff. The head looks now a little out of proportion. But actually not. This is good. Yo, you know what a good reference could be? This Tom Cruise film with Emily Blunt, The Edge of Tomorrow. Like those beasts have like really interesting abstract shapes that sort of remind me of what I imagined here. But not really. These don't change like that, you know. Though they do have like an effect with some smoke sort of thing here, perhaps. Because they're really dark creatures. So this is a demon from the Malverk race faction, whatever. And yeah. But I think the head should be... It wasn't really like this when I imagined it. It was much more tucked in. And no, they did not have like a neck or something. And it felt like, yeah, it's like trapped in there with a bunch of, I don't know if this is tender, this meat here. I think it should be still very solid. Maybe I should do a quick, what's the name? Thumbnail test here, because that's exactly what I imagined these guys to be like. They were like this, had a bunch of spikes. And some tiny legs in the back or something. But this was the major component, this large part of their... They looked like bulls mixed with gorillas, and like I said, it was like a snapping turtle. Snapping. And gorilla. And crabs. And also, I mentioned something else. Well, dark. Smoke. Insect. Chitin. Insect. Legs. Spikes. And I'm probably missing something, but we're good. So this is, it's a little ambiguous here, I know. And this is the face, by the way. It's oriented that way. Should make like a quick indication there. Because right now it looks like some mollusk with a couple of legs here that's oriented this way, you know. But no, this is the way they're facing. So I was thinking of this very aggressive shape with the spikes and stuff, but the legs still don't convince me much. They're supposed to be aggressive, front facing. But still not like this. Maybe they do need a bunch of articulations here and there, some joints. But they were not as... Come on, dude, I got this. I'm still thinking of my vision and what I saw. Well, anyway, I could give it a try. I'm definitely not down like detailing everything with line drawing, because I'd rather stay simple with some... Let me choose this guy. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I think this is kind of where I'm leaving it for now. It's very basic, of course. It's just a dirty sketch, but honestly, it works. And I think I'm locking these together, collapsing them like that, and I could continue it later if I wanted to. But so far, it looks like a mess. Though I can always continue it later. Like I said, I could even make it a little darker if I wanted to, specific areas, because these guys are dark, you know, they're really, really dark, especially here. So I could use this guy. Oh, and of course, they can always use some of that purple hue. See, especially these spikes, they have to be very, very dark. All right. I know it's very ambiguous, but it's fine. I got the idea right there. So now let's add a bunch of those purple hues, something like this, maybe a little more purple, some blue. They're supposed to sort of shine in that iridescent, or what's the name of that kind of stuff? You know, when something like reflects different colors that don't belong in its apparent color. So I don't even know how to speak. Yep. Anyway, this is enough for me to get started on this idea and take it to a finish, kind of explore many different other designs, but they would eventually be just variations of this. So that's what I hope you guys took away from this, is just a quick way to come to one idea. It's like you see it in your mind and boom, you gotta quickly put it on paper. This happened to me about a couple of hours ago, and I thought, yeah, that creature is nice. Let me try to put it on paper somehow. And the way I imagined it is also the following. I'm gonna make another layer just in case, because I'm gonna destroy this guy. So delete everything else. The way I've imagined it is that this guy can actually form like a shield or something, you know, by just tucking in like this. It draws his arms in front of him and forms like a little shield. Boom. There you go. Gets this guy here too. And forms. Imagine they match, you know, somehow in the middle. And this spike over here ends up kind of pointing down, forward like this. Because the head would be like here, you know, tucked in. And then of course in the back you would see that spike. This spike would not be here. It would be, sorry, I should have zoomed in a little bit. This spike would be more like here now. But needless to say, this only works for front-facing threats, you know? But they would be greatly compromised from the sides, from the back, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I like the idea. And if you think about it, like you put some of these guys in this sort of arrangement, this sort of configuration, like imagine there's many others with them in war, you know? So you've got this massive army here, and these guys are at the front facing another enemy right here. Yeah, they're gonna have a hard time kind of dealing with them facing frontwards. Like if they try to clash against them frontally, they're gonna do this kind of stuff and they're gonna have a lot of trouble. But that's why their enemies should devise a strategy to somehow attack and flank them from the side, right? Which is why I guess terrain matters. Like if this is just a, you know, flat surface, then it's way more difficult than if they use some sort of natural elements, you know, reaching for higher altitudes from which they can jump on them or attack them somehow. Imagine this thing I just drew there could be potentially like a hill or something, you know, some mountains. I don't know. There could be so many other ways to deal with that. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you understood the idea. I hope that you liked the episode. I'm gonna add this guy here to the side. Real small like this. And yeah, so again, thank you so much for watching. If I don't say this now, I'm never wrapping up. So thank you guys. I'll catch you up in the next one. But until then, let's just keep growing, keep learning, keep improving, because that's who we are and that's what we do. Bye-bye, guys. God bless.